Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Heal and Regenerate podcast, where we talk about faith and business. But today we're going to be talking about faith and authorship. And I am your host, Apostle Eva.
And I'm your co-host, Pastor Ty.
And we have our special guest, a best-selling author on the line with us today, Gay Chilo. Gay, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Gay Chilo. I am published author on Amazon.com. I actually wrote this book maybe over 25 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and took me a while as far as getting it published, a lot of rejections. Threw it on the side, decided not to do anything with it. Finally decided to give Amazon a chance, and it's history from there.
Wow. Can you show us the book now that you have
Sure.
and tell us the name of it?
The name of the book is Sing with the Angels Now, My Son.
Wow. Wow.
You
Thank you
see it?
for, yes, we can. It's kind of fading out just a little bit. Bring it down just a little bit so we can see it. Let's see.
Okay.
There you go. Wait a minute. Yeah, there it is. Okay, yes.
Mhm.
And we're going to really get into that. Thank you for sharing that. We're going to really get into that. But we want to come on here today because we definitely want to hear your testimony. And then we also want to be a blessing to the audience. So there may be somebody who's wanting to write that book. If you heard, she said 25 years ago. So somebody in the audience, you've probably had a book idea or just an idea in general that you may have wanted to talk about or want to birth out of you. And we are hoping, and it is our prayer that today that there will be something that that Ms. Shala will say that will motivate you to get to that next level. So I want to, Ty, is there something you want to say before we move into the actual interview?
Yeah, I just want to say that, this really speaks to, how you have to really birth something, that it doesn't happen overnight. So this is going to be something that can encourage you, no matter what age, that you can still, put forth, even though you put it down, that you can always pick it back up. So this is going to be some great tidbits on what you can do to pursue your dream and push forward.
Yes, wonderful. And so on that note, Miss Gay, I'm not going to tell everybody that this is my auntie, but it is, okay? But I'm going to say Miss Shiloh right now. I want to tell you something. I did a little research as it relates to, I heard you say that took about 25 years to do that, okay? So let me tell you, I did a little research on yesterday, and where it says that 53.8% of all writers are women. It says while only 46.2% are men. But then I looked at it that it said that African Americans were like at 6.0%. So I wanted to ask you as we move into the interview right now, why do you think that that number is so low as it relates to authors? Or if you, from your own point of view, what do you think would be the reason why the number for authors is Black African American authors is lower?
In my opinion and experience that I've experienced, I would say we're just not given a chance. I really feel like we're not given a chance because a lot of massive projects, a lot of overseas somewhere. None of that stuff ever happened.
Wow.
Everything the only thing that really happened was me ordering author's copies and selling them myself.
Wow.
And that's the only way I was able. But now, and that's why I decided, you know what, let me go on to somewhere where people are constantly looking at books online.
Right.
So, you know, that's why I took it upon myself to do that. And then for me to get my transcript back, I had to pay over $200.
Wow.
To get my own transcript back. And then they refused to give me my first cover. I couldn't get my cover back. They told me that even though it was a friend of ours that drew that cover, they told me I couldn't have it back. So I had to incorporate my nephew to do another cover for me so I can do a revision of the book and put out a new series of it. And there are some things that I did change from the first copy to the second copy.
Okay, I want to add, Ty, did you want to say something right there?
So you want to say that you feel that they make it harder for the numbers so few because they make it harder for African Americans to publish their books?
Yes, they make it very hard. It's like if you're not perfect or if you're not well known or if it's not a book that a movie star has actually read and say that they like. Oh, yeah.
And I have a question right there where you are. So right there, I know that sounds like that was really, really difficult. I want to ask you, how did you have to lean on your faith in God in that process? Tell us a little bit about that.
A whole lot, because my thing was, I feel like, my thoughts were, God, you gave this story to me.
Yes.
Help me to get it out there. And then at one time I'm thinking, okay, God, was that really you speaking to me about this?
Right.
Were you really telling me to go forth? Because from the first grade through eighth grade, I was in private school. In eighth grade, in seventh and eighth grade, Catholic school, the nuns used to give us like a title. And we had to make a little booklet out that title. I enjoyed doing that so much. Like writing from just a title. And I would always get high marks on that little booklet that I would complete. And then all of that, all of those thoughts, like came back to me and stuff. And so I'm thinking, God, you gave it to me when I was younger. I know it has to be still, still instilled in me. And so, and I'm thinking there was no way that I completed this entire manuscript and it's not going to go anywhere.
I want to ask you something right there while you're there, when you say that about you get excited about writing and stuff. Let's kind of elaborate on what your writing process is. I want to come back. We're going to, towards the end of the podcast, we're going to come back and ask you about some advice you may give people for kind of going around those whack, I'm gonna say whack publishing companies and things like that.
Right.
But right there, when you said through the years, let's tell us about your writing process. Some writers have to go sit on the lake and they think about it for a while and they ponder. What's your writing process? How did you get to where you are with your book?
Well, first, let me ask you this question. When you read something, do you see it?
Yes, good. You deep, sister. I'm not lying.
No, I'm serious. So when you read a book, when you read a book, do you see it?
Yes,
yes, you do begin to visualize it. What you read, you do.
Right,
get a picture of it.
Exactly.
That's good.
So I used to have like thoughts and I would actually see it. And then I'm thinking, I kept seeing it over and over, thinking, oh my God, so is this like a tap on the shoulder? Should I start jotting this down? And it all started when I was working, I think at a congressional office.
Okay.
And so, and I kept seeing it over and over. It was almost like I could see, like I was sitting down watching a movie. And I'm thinking,
Wow.
okay, so let me start jotting this movie down. Seriously. And so then after it's like I had gotten to a block where I'm thinking, okay, so I got just this one little paragraph. Where am I
Like
supposed
a
to go with
writer's
this?
block. Like a writer's
Right.
block.
So
Okay.
so then I'm start thinking, okay, well, let me just everyday life, going on. And let me see how I can put that to my thoughts. And
Yeah.
so then I started like different parts started popping in my head, but it
Okay.
wasn't being in line with, to make it flow correctly.
Okay.
And so
Yes.
then I'm thinking, okay, so I got this part over here, this part over here. Now I need to make them come together as one so it makes sense.
Yes.
And so
Wow.
then, I mean, it's just sometimes it comes to me at night. I don't get up
Wow.
and write about it, but
Yeah.
I keep thinking about it over and over. So now I know that once I start typing again, that it'll come back
Yes.
to memory. It will.
Wow.
I mean, if it's
Yes.
something that I know my memory is bad, but when it's something that you really like doing, it's gonna come back
It's
to
gonna
you. It
stick.
it definitely will. Oh yeah,
It's
it's gonna
gonna
definitely
stick.
stick.
Man, that's some good
Yes.
information. That is good because I have some little stuff I have written down. You've helped me with a lot of stuff just to be able to actually see it. When you read it, do
Yeah.
you see it? That's good information. I want to, our listeners, that is good. I would take that and hold on to that. So, Ty, do you have something you want to ask?
Yes. So what advice do you have for writers?
I'm sorry. Say it again.
So what advice would you have for other writers? So what advice would you give other writers, dealing
Uh,
with the process and things of that nature?
for one thing, if something is being brought to your uh I'm going like I don't want to say senses, but mind, memory, or whatever, over and over, I would start writing that down. And you never know like just how much of stuff it would accumulate just writing.
Right.
But I will say this: be very, very careful about these self-publishing companies. Now, I will give a lot of advice. Just do your research on them.
Yeah.
Don't go with the first one that you decide, oh, they're going to help me. No, that's not always the truth at all. You got to be very careful because like I said, in the long run, you could
Yes.
end up paying them way more money than you even make. Or
Mm.
and as far as the process of you writing, sometimes just on a road trip, just
Yeah.
seeing stuff.
Okay.
You can
Yeah.
get ideas from that too. Just riding
Wow.
down the road sometimes. You
Wow.
know, that silent, just you in the car, someone else driving, just looking at the greenery, the sceneries that you're passing up, just your everyday thoughts in life, even
Yes.
going to the store, going shopping, going in the grocery store, all that stuff can come to you.
Right.
And before you know it, you done made it into a 200, 300-page book. Just in,
Wow.
yeah.
And I want to tell you something. I'm gonna step over into like some spiritual stuff right now. But I'm gonna talk right now from the prophetic. I never noticed this on you, but you are a seer in the spirit. You can see things in the spirit. And when you made that, I got a chill all over my body. So for those who will listen to this, you said, do you ever see it? And so let me tell you something. I'm a seer too in the spirit. And I've always wondered if where it kind of manifested from. But the more I'm talking and I'm seeing now that because she's a seer, Ty's a seer.
My daughter's a seer.
Yeah, her daughter's a seer. Malik is a
My daughter
seer.
is my daughter is too.
You see, so now I got to chill on myself. So when you say, and then as you're talking, I'm looking at your eyes. It's I'm getting off the book a little bit and talking about the
That's
seer. And
okay.
when you said when you read, what do you see? You said it with such an authority that I saw that I was like, whoa, she has the gift of the seer. And so this is my next question. Do you believe that God ordained you to write?
I sincerely feel it, because I feel like anything that is constantly, I'm not going to say bothering you, but is constantly on your mind. Something something that you think about all the time. Like I think about getting my book. Let me back up some. So I used to always pray that I could have a #1 bestseller. That was always my thoughts. So after I wrote this one, I almost took a little back seat, because I felt like it wasn't quite going as deep into other people's hands as I thought. Because right now I'm sitting on 3 others that I haven't completed. I've actually, because a thought will come to my head and I'll start writing it, but I haven't finished them. And it's 3 separate books, actually.
I believe that. Yeah.
And so, actually, one day I was looking through my computer and I found one, and 2 are has a title and 1 doesn't.
Yeah.
And so the one that doesn't, I found it and I'm thinking, oh my God, where this came from? I completely forgot about it. I'm thinking, oh my God, where does this come from? So I called my daughter. I called Chanel and I said, hey, did you start writing or something? She said, no, Mom, I never wrote nothing. I said, are you sure? I said, because it's pretty good. And I'm thinking, no, I didn't write this. And so I started reading it again. And thinking, I said, you sure you didn't write it? She said, no, Mom, I think that's yours. And so I said, oh my God, I really need to finish this.
Oh my
really need, yes. So, I need those other 3. I really need to finish. And I just need to, I'm not going to say quit being lazy, but sometimes it scares me. Sometimes it does scare me. It does. The unknown scares me.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
So in viewing that, do you view writing as a kind of spiritual practice? Do you feel that in it, right? Do you feel it's a spiritual practice for you when you write?
Yes, I do. I do. And I feel like sometimes I don't mean it to sound, well, I'm not gonna say strange, but sometimes I feel like, okay, God, give me the next chapter. And I mean, that's the way I feel sometimes. And it's like, I feel like sometimes he's sitting right there with me. So it's, I just like, okay, God, I need the next chapter.
Yeah.
And that's the way I felt when I was writing this one. I mean, because at first it was just an ongoing thing, and I didn't know where to stop the chapters and where to begin the next chapter. So, I mean, I did a lot of praying with this. A lot of praying with this book.
Wow.
Yes.
So I want to ask too, well, we kind of know where you started to know how to know God. You didn't have no choice. You was born in God. But anyway.
Yes. Yes. Oh, most definitely.
So I wanted to ask you this. As you write these books, like I heard you say God is right there with you.
Yes.
Is your faith being increased on each book assignment? Do you see a level of, you say you can go from faith to faith and to glory to glory. Do you feel like when you write that book that you've grown in your, matured more in the spirit as you
Yes, because I have to put my faith in him to know that I'll be able to get where I want to be. I want to be another Terry McMillan. I want to be another I can't even think of her name. Another, famous author.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, where someone just sees it and knows that, oh, hey, I know her, or something like, I knew her back in the day, or we went to school together, or anything like that. So I want to be one of those renowned authors.
Yes. So
yes.
So take your time and give us a little excerpt of the book that you've just written. Is because I know as much as God is in the midst of that writing process, this book speaks to many people. It speaks to many
Yes.
people. So tell us a little bit of what the book, kind of give us an excerpt of what the book says and what
It's about,
it does.
okay, so basically, um, it's a little young guy growing up in Philadelphia. Mom, dad, sister. Dad decides he no longer wants to be with the family.
Mm.
He decides to leave, never comes back. Mom is now a single parent with 2 young kids. Um, she's, not able to make ends meet like she wants to for her kids. She's doing the best she can. She's struggling. And then that son decides he needs more. He wants to do more. Or I want to help my mom out more.
Right.
So let me turn to something that's halfway decent. Then he wants even more because he sees just how much his mom is struggling. He sees her tears.
Wow.
So he steps out. Well, what he steps out on isn't a very good thing. Now he's really making the money he wants to make. Mom finds out, don't want him nowhere around her and that young sister of his.
Wow.
Jump forward, everything doesn't turn out the way he wants it to be. Everything doesn't go down the way he wants it to go down. Well, now he's telling his own story without giving away too much.
Yes.
Yeah. He's now the author of his own story.
Man. And so as you wrote that, when you were writing that book, and I'm going to be quiet in just a minute, in your own words, how does that speak to the reading audience? What is the moral of that?
I have that book. I have that book classified on the website as, I think, either 16 or 17 years plus. Because I'm not going to say, I mean, there's not a lot, but some of it go into details to try to reach young teenagers. I'm not going to say just teenage boys.
Okay.
Because there are girls,
right,
that's doing the same thing. But a lot of, there is like, it's not a lot, like I said, but a little bit of adult nature in there. I'm gonna put it like that.
Okay.
So, and it's only, for like a second, but it basically is speaking to, hey, we all grew up whatever kind of way, have whatever bad role we might have taken in life. We can be brought back from that.
Yes.
But think about it. Young teenagers, our millennials, we don't have to go that, we don't have to take that road.
Right.
Everything doesn't have to be a fast buck. There's other ways in life to come up. It doesn't have to go there. It doesn't have to put you on that danger side.
Yes. So, and that's good. We kind of talked a little bit about the gateway, to reach the millennials right now. Sometimes you can't just come with them and go, the Lord said,
right.
They're gonna be like,
no, you
can't.
That's
right.
We have to have the gate, and that's a good gateway book that will kind of get you to say, okay, look at, people are won by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So that man's testimony, it speaks, of what he goes through, and that draws in that millennial crowd and that younger audience to be able to say, whoa, wait a minute, I can learn from this. So that is good. Yeah.
And that was my biggest, I'm sorry not to cut you off.
No, that's
but
okay.
That was my biggest, thoughts. I wanted to reach some young kids and listen to his story and, and see what he went through, because I have to bring myself back to, I had to bring myself back to reality a few times now. I was, writing this book, because sometimes I would drift off to like, is this a true story? I'm thinking, no. It's not. No, it's not a true story. And I mean, I was having to pull myself back from that.
Right. Oh, that's
No,
good
this is not a true. Yeah, this is not
Yeah.
a true story. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
know a friend of mine that actually purchased the book. She said, she asked me, "Okay, is that a true story?" No, nobody I
Yeah.
know of. Not at all. But
But
no,
you
yeah,
know what? Let me say this too. Being a seer, it could very well be somebody's
It could be
story,
somebody's
and
story,
you
yeah.
don't know yet.
I didn't even think about it. You're
Yeah,
right.
it could be
You're
because you
right.
could be reaching, you know, in the spirit realm, you could just be, God could be downloading something in you. That could be somebody's real story.
Yeah,
And
that's
I know
true.
when you
That's true.
find out it is, you're gonna weep like a baby, a weeping willow.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
goodness.
So Ty, you had something else you wanted to add?
So yes, because the millennials, they're about 30s, and so this seems like it would be a good book for the Generation Z because they're the ones that are there now. They're seeing all these other things. So do you think this is a good, like, for parents that are struggling with their teenagers? So do you think this is a good book for them to get for they can't reach them? Do you think this is something
Yeah.
you would say, hey, let me get this book. It's on Amazon. Let me get this so you can read. Because sometimes they
Yes.
don't like to listen to
Yes.
their
Oh
parents.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They
Oh
have
yeah.
to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like once they get the gist of it, like because because of how the story flows, you don't really know the outcome of what really
Mm.
happened until you get to the end. Because
Wow.
I had another friend of mine, without giving it away, she said,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, is that what happened?" I mean, she like we was talking in detail about it.
Yeah.
She said, "You had me so." I mean, like I was in shock to find out how
Yeah.
this ended up. I said, "Yeah, that's the purpose of it." She said, "All this time, I'm thinking something totally different." Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And we didn't
So
get it. I'm gonna run out and get it because normally I would
Yeah.
like to have read it before, but we didn't
and
get a
I've
chance.
lowered the price on Amazon.
Okay. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I
I've
want to
lowered the
get that.
price.
Me too. I want to
Does
read
it
it.
come in ebook form or just
Both.
Oh, well, I can get that today. Okay,
Uh-huh. It
I'm
comes in
ebook.
both.
I don't like to wait for mine to come to me. I like to
I had
buy it right now.
um a lady that I knew, she was strictly ebook. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love
Yeah, it
ebook
comes
because I've
in
been
both.
wanting to read right now. Okay, so we're going to get
Mm-hmm.
more to that as we move closer to the end of this. But I want to ask you something. Do you believe a person can heal through writing, and how?
Oh yeah, because even with me just not writing,
Mm-hmm.
even like things that I feel that has gone on in my past, I feel
Yeah,
like if I write them down, it'll
yeah.
help me. I'm not gonna say forget, but
Mm-hmm.
like put it on the back burner for me.
Okay,
So
okay,
I really feel like people can actually heal from writing.
okay. And he,
Sometimes
mhm.
they can heal from certain books that they read.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because I want to
So
say this too. Sometimes when I'm seeking God for an answer, and sometimes it may not be from a sermon I hear, it may not be from a song or something. I got the Holy Spirit would tell me, go to the bookstore and get a book, or go online and
right.
find a book, and that book will
Mm-hmm.
speak. So I know I had about 20
Yeah.
books that then spoke to me in that season, and
Yep.
I could feel like my life just did this. It just like aligned itself because God was,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was a book directly scriptural or it was a book that was on the gateway, but it spoke
Yeah.
to me. My son talked about a book, I can't think of the name of it, but it had to do, it was a Christian guy wrote it, but it was a gateway book where it talked about the value of money. And he said how that
Okay.
just shifted his whole paradigm. And he said to me, he said, Mama, but if it was so scripturally, I probably wouldn't have read it. He said, with some scriptures in there, but it was easy for me to digest and I was able to use it and apply it to my life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that I just wanted to know, you know, kind of piggyback off of what Todd just said. But Todd, did you have another
So
question?
yes. So how do you feel like if so you said since you were a little girl, you said you felt this. So parents that can see something like that in their children, how would you kind of help them help them with their children to birth that gift? What are some things you would?
Um,
The writing gift?
not
Yes, the
on not
writing gift.
well,
Okay.
not only was it the writing, younger, I used to do a lot of reading.
Mm.
So my thing is, God, I'm reading all these books. What about if I could do this too? Write
Wow.
something where, because you know what? A lot of people say, oh, ooh, you making all, well, not me personally, but just writers in general. Oh, you're
Yeah.
making all this money writing and stuff. It's not even about the money. I just want to,
Wow.
my thoughts and my feeling is I want someone to say something like, "Oh, you wrote this? I can't believe this is really good. I cannot
Yeah.
believe it's not even about like the money
Yeah.
I would make from it.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do
Mm-hmm.
with it." So my thing is, give your kids all these books to read. And
Yeah.
maybe they'll have that same thing. Hey, maybe I can do this too. I
Mm-hmm.
can I can write like this,
Yes.
because that was my thoughts. Hey,
Yes.
maybe I can write something good like this and have somebody actually reading it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because to me, that's what make a person really feel good to know that,
Yeah.
oh, wow, all these people reading my book.
Yeah. And not touch their
Yes,
lives and so and see and
yes,
and the more you talk, it's really it is a calling because everybody communicates different. Some of us are called, like me, I'm called to preach it and speak it. Some people are called to write it. And
mm-hmm,
like you got the prophetic writers that write. Now that's I'm a prophetic writer. I write things, that the Lord will show me the prophetic or the way that, prophetically, like I see it, and write different things. It could be
mm-hmm,
scripturally based, but the Lord will have me writing certain things in the prophetic out. So people will have, so what I'm saying is that this is a great calling on your life, that the Lord uses you in that area to be able to do that, because that's amazing. And I've been knowing you 100 years, and it didn't. I'm seeing a whole nother aspect, of
right.
who you are, and it's deep. It's very deep, very very
Thank
deep.
you, thank
And
you,
I
thank you.
want to I want to ask you one more question. When you
Mhm.
write, does writing, which I know you got a couple more too, but does
Mhm.
writing energize you or exhaust you, or does it do both? What,
Both,
tell
both.
elaborate a little bit more how you
Mhm.
feel sometimes when you.
Because um, I'm gonna take this one for instance.
Okay.
Um, you can come up with your characters' names,
Mm-hmm.
but then when you're like doing so much of writing stuff, it's almost like, okay, so wait, what was his name? Wait, what was her name? I'm thinking, okay, so wait, let me go back. Okay, well, they can wait, let me go back and see. Because you're trying to keep all that in line with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to make sure that, you know, this one, um, I know that this one was one family, this one was another family. You got to keep up. Okay, so let me go back to some pages and see what, or even as, I'm writing it, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, so, okay, this is becoming overwhelming because now I'm starting to get my characters mixed up.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like, okay, now I need to take a break or
Yeah.
something like that. So it can be overwhelming, tiresome, and it gets to the point where you have read it and read it
Yes.
and read it again, and then pulled it out and read it again so many times
Yes.
until you're so tired of reading it, and then but that can hurt you because
Mm-hmm.
now you just want to try to finish it, or that's the way I
Yes.
was feeling. I just want to finish it, but then I was starting to get a little confused where I have to go back and reread again to
Okay.
make sure that it was all making
Yes.
sense and
Sense
flowing.
flowing.
Yes,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
yes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yes.
Now let me ask you this: when you write your books, do you use any kind of writing tools like Grammarly, anything to edit your books, or do you
Oh,
have a?
yes. Oh,
Okay.
definitely. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Because sometimes those commas
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
colons.
hate them. I hate
Oh,
them.
yes,
I
yes.
hate them.
Or
Okay.
okay, so this word, okay, so should that word, or should it mean another meaning, or should I make the word bigger on another, all of that. Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
definitely.
Taji.
So what are some common traps you feel that writers, aspiring writers have? Some common traps that they have when they're in the writing process of writing.
Oh, they may
You said
face or
trap.
something. traps that they might face,
different traps they might face. Yeah, with writing.
Or stolen rocks.
Basically, traps like
in their writing process, or just in the writing process.
In the writing process.
Or sending partial. You can get trapped into sending partial of a manuscript to someone.
Wow. Okay.
And not knowing if they're on the up and up and not going to try to keep that manuscript for themselves.
Wow.
Yeah, because sometimes a lot of I'm not going to say publishing, like well-known publishing company, but there's some, there's some things that I did read online where someone sent a partial of their manuscript and someone tried to pull from it. And that was another thing that I was scared of. So the whole time I was writing this, I'm thinking, okay, and that was another one of my prayers. God, give me insight that nothing that I'm writing pertains to anything that anyone else has written. So what I did was, so I wouldn't fall into one of those traps, was I made sure I sent mine to Austin, the copywriting company.
Okay.
Yes, and I made sure that I got my first ISBN. So I knew that was for myself.
Yes.
And another way I know that, to keep yourself from someone trying to steal something, or even, like you said, a trap.
Yes.
Mail whatever you have in a brown long envelope, mail it back to yourself. Don't open it. Don't open it. So that's also your proof.
Yes. And I've heard that before, to mail it so you'll have that proof, but don't open it.
Yes.
So that is some good information. So I just want to interject right there. Those of you who are thinking about writing a book, this Ms. Chilo has given us some very good tips on how to, some of the traps you can go around. And, a lot of times you'd ask other authors and they won't share this information with you.
No, they won't.
Yeah.
They won't.
So I would get this, because, sometimes you have to pay a lot of money for what you're getting today because you don't kind of know how to go around it. So we do appreciate you sharing this. Yeah. We do appreciate you sharing this so that they can be motivated to move to the next level. And do you think that a big ego helps or hurt a writer? Or should they be humble, or how should they? Humble?
I feel like they should be humble.
Okay.
Don't ever think, hey, it's mine. This came from me. So I know something. Don't think because you like it, somebody else will. Never ever think that. Don't ever. And don't ever let someone build your head up to thinking that you're so good that that no one else up think that, oh, this is not good. Hey, this came from me. I know it's going to be good. No, don't ever let someone build your head up like that.
Wow, that's good. That's good, because it's a lot of heady authors. It's a lot of
out there.
That a lot of them out there thinking I did it and I'm gonna take all the credit for it. But we do know that ain't
exactly
so. Yeah.
Right. And I know that somebody, like I can write 10 books, and because my name is attached to it, oh, I know they go like it. Don't think that.
Yeah. Would you ever like to turn this book into a play?
I was thinking about that, yeah. Or a movie. Short film.
You know who the mama is?
Who?
Angela Bassett. And I'm going to hold that as long as yes, ma'am. I have.
Wow.
I want Angela Bassett as the mom.
Yes.
Yes. I want all my nephews in it.
Yeah. I was thinking about one nephew in particular that's an actor.
Yes. I never came to a conclusion on either the dad or the main character, the main male character. I don't know yet. I don't see who that, and as long as it's been, I've never seen who that main person is, but the mom. Oh yes, I want Miss Bastet.
Oh my
I really
God.
do. Yes.
Oh my
and
God.
I'm thinking, and I know, and that's another one of my prayers. God, she's getting older.
Yes.
I need to make this happen.
Yes. So
I've thought about sending it to two people in particular.
Yeah.
And one name I was thinking, I was going to ask if you thought about sending it to this one person, and I don't know.
But it scares me.
That's what I was thinking. Tyler Perry. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Can I tell you something? Let me tell you something. I wrote a grant in 2013, 14 or something, I'm thinking. And the Lord told me to write it. I worked on it for 3 months. I had that grant because the Lord told me, I had a dream. I saw Tyler Perry in the dream that he was going to be one to help us with we were opening an addiction center. And he had just did something for somebody else. Honey, I had that hand delivered to his secretary. Do you understand me? The first time they sent it back, she said that that's all. I said, listen, put it in his hands. When you drive that truck up there, I want you to put it in his hands. So I called, and the lady said, I kept saying, I hadn't heard nothing, or they got it or nothing. She said, ma'am, it came. She said, but Tyler will not take anything in his hands. She said, you're going to have to send it, but I'm going to tell you how to send it in the mail. And I said, well, will he read it? She said, well, this is what I'm going to tell you. She said, whoever the hands it needs to get into, they're going to look at it. So really what I was hearing was he look at all that stuff, okay? Right. Nothing came from it, but I still want you to hear me. When you want to get it to him, go and get it. Like the kids say, go and get it, auntie, go and get it out there. Because, and I was like, oh, Lord, is he going to read it? Is he going to read it? The first time it came back, and I was told my husband, I said, it came back. And I said, I'm not. But let me tell you how amazing God is on this point right here. I woke up and the Lord told me and said to me that Tyler Perry is getting ready to give a lot of money away. He always does, but he said he's getting ready to give some for a certain, like what we want to do. I sent that out to him. Within 2 or 3 weeks later, he gave that money to TD Jakes to build that thing. So the thing is, I did hear God when he said he was going to give it away. Okay. So I just stepped out. I didn't know if he was going to give it to me. I still kept believing, but I'm just saying that to say, just do it. Do it. You go and get out there. Because that I'm quite sure that's something, from what you told the story, that's something that needs to be told now. I can even see that in the movie theaters.
And that's the way I see it. I see it as either a TV show or played in the movie. I mean, I've seen it so clear to the fact of me reaching out to my nephew to let him know that he was chosen for a part in it. That's how clear I've seen it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But that fear is what holds me back. And I know I need to get out of that. I really do. Because I feel like I'm hurting myself.
Is that nephew Lonnie J? Listen, Lonnie J, I know you're going to look at this at some time, okay? You got all these aunties up on this line right here. I'm talking to you right now. You hear your Aunt Gay, this your great aunt now. She went up higher in the rank now. You hear what she's saying. I know you doing stuff and you working and stuff. Jump on it. So yes, please. I can see that. I can definitely see that. But this is so good. You know, you can be with people and know them all their life, but you don't know the depth. Lady, you got a lot of depth. I'm not lying. A lot of depth. And you are so smart.
Yes.
Thank you.
Smart. Yes. And so we ain't done. So I just want to just tell the people that you know, we were supposed to have another guest, but she wasn't able to come on, and we praying for her daughter. But then sometimes God will ordain stuff for this season. It was meant for her to have, because Miss Charlotte is very quiet natured, but she's a little powerhouse. I'm seeing that right now. Your name gonna go from Gay to Lizzie in just a little bit, okay? So they don't know.
I cannot.
Is her mother, okay,
I
who was my
cannot.
grandmother. Okay, so I'm just saying. So on that note, what Ty, you want to take that question? You want to answer that last question about
Yeah,
that
go
one?
ahead. So what do you feel is your writing kryptonite?
Like boom, what did you?
Hmm. That's a good question. I guess I really never thought of it.
You know, some people drink a lot of coffee when they get started. Some people.
No. I guess as far as what makes me stronger on it.
Yes,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I call myself a thinker.
Mm-hmm.
That mine is that inner self, being by myself, that alone time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what starts the process in my head.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I really, really, really enjoy that quiet, alone time with just me. And it's like it starts up in
Me
my
too.
yes, it
Me
really
too.
does.
I love
And
it.
when I tell you, I feel like that probably is my kryptonite because it gives me all kind of thoughts, and I'm, it's just it's just a lot of thoughts. And so
Yeah.
that I feel like, okay, I need to put this down on paper.
Yes.
I really do. Yes.
Wow. Wow. That is
Yep.
amazing. That is amazing. So I want to say to our listening audience, what time do you want to say something to the audience as it
Well,
talks about the kryptonite or
well,
just in general?
what is in general, I just wanted to ask another question because I know you said
Okay.
it's pertaining to publishing companies. I see a lot of people publishing on Amazon. So does Amazon give it? Is it a greater platform for them giving people a greater chance? Is that why? Because I know a lot of people. It seems like they have a better chance at Amazon because it is, or is it the same process as it is?
Okay. Put it like this here. If you have multiple books on Amazon, then well, let me not say that. If you have a book on Amazon and you have a lot of traffic and there's a lot of traffic with that book, then it's up here. Okay. So when it starts drawing back, then it starts falling way back here. Then your price starts to drop too. Now don't think, and also don't think, and I know it takes a lot for them to get that order because I don't think they have like a whole bunch of books just sitting there. So they don't create that book until it's actually ordered. Until it's actually ordered. I believe that's when they put the book together. Yes.
Wow.
So you're not making as much as you think you might be making unless that book is carrying a whole lot of traffic.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's good
and
to
then,
know.
To have multiple books, then you're probably really gaining something because now don't get me wrong, because Amazon also has this global thing. So if you have a lot of books and a lot of traffic, I believe it happens monthly. So, and it's like millions as far as dollars in this global pot. And I don't know if it's the first, I don't know if it's the first 5 or the first 10. I forgot how much, but the people that have sold like a whole lot of books, they dish this global money out to them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, because I still get the email.
Okay.
Yeah, every month.
Wow.
Yeah. Now they don't give you the names that this happened to, but oh yeah, if your book is carrying a lot of traffic, then you're sitting pretty well.
So now that you say that, what types of books do you think you see getting the most traffic? If a person wanted to kind of do some research, what is it? Is it not that tells
It
nonfiction,
varies.
fiction? Oh, it's different. Okay.
Well, there's a lot of no, it varies because
Okay.
those nonfiction,
Mm-hmm.
um, those nonfiction. Make sure I'm getting this right.
Mm-hmm.
Those fiction, not true books, and
Okay.
then those nonfiction, true books.
Okay.
Because I sometimes get those that backwards, but
Okay.
yeah, but it's a lot of like true books or how to do
Yeah, I
books.
was going to ask you, do you think the how to do
Yes,
books? Okay.
a lot
Mm-hmm.
of how to do books,
Okay.
and then a lot of um, well, I'm gonna say the children books.
Okay.
They and that's mostly because of parents. They get a lot of traffic.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Or
Well,
like um coloring books,
yes.
school books
Mm-hmm.
like math, English for kids and stuff. So a
Okay.
lot of kids
Yes.
books, but then there's a lot of mystery books
Okay. Street.
that,
Mm-hmm.
that's getting a lot of traffic.
Okay.
So
Okay. And so I want to, as we get ready to, we talked about a lot of things today. So we're moving to a close. This was a really good, I mean,
It
I've
really
learned
was, yes.
so
Felt so
much.
much.
You got a wealth of information, plethora of
Mhm.
information. We talked about everything from how you got started, your faith, what your kryptonite is, what energizes you, what, kind of pulls on you. You gave them some ways that they can go around these stumbling blocks. And then you just shared this information with us just now, which has brought all this together. And I just want to say to the audience that this is a wealth of information.
Yes,
I
it
would
is.
definitely get a pen while I'm going through this and write down this information because Ms. Charlo has given us some wonderful information. And so I want to also ask you this. I did some more research where it said that 97% of authors who start books, they don't finish their books. What are your feelings about that? And what can you say to encourage a person that is a writer and that may get to a point where they want to stop? What would you kind of share with them, to the writers that are listening?
I definitely know that feeling because I did get to a point where um my book wasn't finished and years passed and
Wow.
I didn't finish it. And my
Yes.
thing was, well, how do you know where you'll ever get if you don't finish it? And that
Yes.
was my biggest, thoughts. Well, I mean, because I would talk to myself all the time, well, Gay, how do you know what'll happen? You haven't even
Yes.
finished the book.
Yes.
How do you know if it'll never be on the bestseller list? You haven't finished the book. How do you know somebody famous, won't see your
Right.
book?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know it won't be in Books a Million or Barnes and Noble or
Yes.
any bookstore? You haven't finished
You
it.
haven't finished it.
So I mean, that's my thing right there. How will you know if you don't ever finish it?
Mm, that's good. And that's good. That's good. That we can end with that. How will you know
You
if you
know,
never finished it? You
yes.
have to
Yep.
finish it. You
It's, yep.
have to finish the
Yeah.
book.
Finish it.
You have to
And I
finish
have,
it.
and that's what I tell myself about the three that I have just sitting on my computer. I have to
Yeah.
finish them.
Yeah.
And
Because
and they all come up in my head all the time.
mm-hmm,
But the ones that the two they have the titles,
mm-hmm,
they always come up, and I know I need to do something with that. I do.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I really believe that somebody's destiny is connected to those books. I believe
Mm-hmm.
that somebody is waiting to read one. And I think it's Psalms 91. It says one can put 1,000 to flight, two can put 10,000 to flight. I think that somebody is waiting for that next book. It's 1,000 souls connected to that
Yeah.
book that is going to come out. So it is something that when you're called and ordained to that, that's really a
Mm-hmm.
way to, you know, change a person's life or deposit something in their life that will shift their paradigm to another.
Right.
And that. Listen, this interview was really, 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 really good.
Yes.
Really, really, really good. And I want to, Ty, if we can, is there anything else, Gay, that you want to share with your listening audience as we close out?
All I can say is if you got it in you, go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and do it. Step out on faith and go ahead and do it. So, and again, how will you know unless you do it?
How will you know? That's a t-shirt.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
How will you
How
know
will you know unless you do
unless
it?
you fit. Yep.
Yeah. So Ty, you wanted to say something really quick before I wanted to also say this. I wanted to thank you so much for coming, taking the time to come on here, because I know that a lot of people or that are hearing this right now, they are going to be blessed because it blessed us. And I know they're going to be blessed from this information. And so I want to encourage them to get as much information as they can from this. And also her information about her book, the link and everything is going to be included on this actual a podcast site. So you'll be able to get that information. This podcast is also going to be on Facebook, as well as IG, as well as YouTube. And we're going to try to get it on Twitter. So we want you to be able to get this information. And Gay, can you just voice out your information right now? Just we're going to have it on here, but just if you want to just talk it and tell them where they can go for your book. But it's going to be on
it's on Amazon.com, but it's also on my Linktree. And let me give you that information, because I do have a Linktree where you just have to go on there and click on the link, and it brings it up right away to you. It brings you straight to Amazon with the lower price that I have now.
Okay.
And it's Linktree / Chilo 44. And that's the linktr.ee and then / G Chilo CHILO 44, and then the Linktree link. Plus it's on my Facebook page and it's on my Instagram page.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing this. And
You're
as we
welcome.
get ready to close, I just want you to know that our podcast is going to be, right now, our podcast is monthly. It'll be every first Monday of the month. And we have some, this was amazing. And we're going to have some more amazing things coming. Ty, did you want to add something to that before we prayed and close out?
I just want to say this was an amazing podcast. You know, you get to, I've known my aunt, my great aunt all my life, and I didn't, and you learn, and it's the thing, you learn something new, about people. And so we're just excited because we're going to continue bringing you people, that, so you're able to hear and help you birth what God has for you. Because by them birthing and sharing, it allows to encourage you to birth what God has in you.
Yes. Right. All right. So I want to, well, let me ask you this, Gay. Do you want to say a quick prayer for those writers that need to birth this thing out of? You don't have to be long. Just something real quick.
I just pray for them within their spirit, to let God reach them, touch their hearts, their minds, their souls, to give them the knowledge, the wording, to bring it to their memory, to be able to put their hand to paper and make it happen, make it prosperous, and make it benefit their lives. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for that. And I want to thank you all for I'm going to say Angie again. Miss Gay Chilo. I'm trying to stay professional. Look, Miss Gay Chilo, thank you for that information. And thank you to the listening audience that is listening to us. We appreciate you. And we'll say that we'll see you next time on Healing and Regeneration, our Healing and Regeneration podcast. Have an amazing week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.